When I was in university, I had the perfect personal productivity setup. It was functional, minimal, portable, and held basically everything I needed without being intrusive or visually distracting. I didn't own anything that I didn't absolutely need, and with my return home for the summer, I had set many goals for myself before returning to university. However, my space at home was not tailored for productivity. There were too many surfaces, too many distracting items, and too many cues to start doing something else. This is when I had decided to scrutinize every item in my room and critically decide whether I keep it or if I discard it. By asking myself, does this item bring me happiness? I would organize based on my decision and repeated this process until I felt I only held on to what was necessary. Here's my workspace after this transition. My goal for this setup was to keep it clean and functional and only holding on to the bare necessities. This keeps the space dynamic for any project that I pursue. Before I cover how I use this space, I will cover the items that I keep consistently, starting with the desk. I've been using an autonomous standing desk for a few years now, and it's helped tremendously with posture and back pain. Being able to seamlessly transition from a sitting position to a standing has completely changed the way that I work. To protect my desk surface, I use the Midnight Constellation Desk Mat by Divinity. It looks and feels high quality, it covers a lot of surface area, and it looks great no matter what items I have on it. In terms of desk storage, I use this black monitor stand that I bought on Amazon. I keep my keyboard and mouse on the top shelf and store frequently accessed items on the second. Here, I have an IKEA tray for my everyday carry, my external project drives, my bullet journal, and a custom Nintendo DSi with an R4 ROM card. On the bottom shelf, I have fastened some hubs and readers for both my desktop and MacBook using 3M Velcro strips. On either side of the monitor stand are my speakers. This is the Logitech Z337, and I often use this for generic content consumption and for music. It comes with a nice volume knob with Bluetooth capabilities, so basically any device I am using can connect to these speakers. To the left, I have this section cup that I use to hold index cards, a single pen, and a Sharpie. Sometimes when I'm trying to enter a flow state, it really helps to close all of my apps and software and write down exactly what I need to complete on an index card as my only focus. Think of this as the broke college student's version of the Analog by Oogmonk. The resemblance is uncanny. The last of my smaller items is my 3-in-1 charger. I love this item not only because it keeps my handheld and wearables clutter-free and looking nice, but also because it can collapse flat, which allows for convenient storage within something like a travel bag. Above all of these items is my centerpiece. This is the, whatever this name is, which is a 29-inch ultra-wide display. This display has redefined the way that I approach multitasking and creative work. It's helped with opening many tabs in Windows, expanded my workspace view in Photoshop and After Effects, and makes gaming more immersive. To keep it looking clean, the display is VESA mounted on a monitor arm I picked up from Amazon. To light the desk, I use the Baseus LED light bar. It's powered with USB-C and comes with adjustable brightness and warmth settings. When I bought this, I honestly didn't know what to expect. However, once I started using it, shining light onto the desks makes it feel comfier and more approachable to work in. I can't really explain it, but it has significantly helped with the comfort I feel when I'm working. I also have the occasional fake plants and other trinkets to add some color and personality to my desk. As you can see, I really enjoy the brown, black, gray with some hints of green, along with the orange light to help inform a warm and comfortable mood. In terms of storage, my solution is fairly basic. For the items that I use most often, I put them on my IKEA Skadis pegboard. I love the versatility, so what I place on it may change along with my interests. Right now, I have these little bins for SD cards, external drive cables, and flash drives for various operating systems. Above, I have my custom and Pro 2 and my Canon Rebel T1i camera. To the right, I have my first two mechanical keyboards that I no longer use, being the Razer Huntsman and the Logitech G Pro, my mounts and tripods for my iPhone, my iFixit kit, and a large bullet journal. Next to my desk, I have a nightstand that I purchased online to store miscellaneous peripherals, controllers, and cables. Any items that I don't often need will go here. I have also optimized the space within the drawer with some organizer bins, which have been a tremendous help with keeping everything tidy and visually pleasing. Below the drawer in this nook, I have my networking switch. This was a gift from my old high school, and I use this to connect my desktop, my room's access point, my home's security, and my server, which I will cover later. Next to that drawer is one more set specifically for the tools that I repair devices with. I have items for cleaning, I have blades, screwdrivers, circuit boards, soldering tools, and more. This is more or less my tech junk drawer when I am repairing, building, or tinkering with something. Those are the fundamentals, or the items that I consistently keep on and around my desk. With that long list finally out of the way, I have 3 main configurations of my space. By exchanging a few items on my desk, my workflow completely changes based on the task at hand. My quote-unquote professional work involves what I do creatively. This primarily involves YouTube scripting, graphic design, and building Notion templates. No matter what I'm working on, everything in this configuration is powered by my M1 MacBook Air, equipped with 256 gigabytes of storage and 16 gigs of RAM. I've had this laptop for a little over a year now, and I cannot express how amazing macOS complements my workflow. It doesn't get in the way like Windows does for me, and I virtually never experience any software crashing or downtime due to complications. Even with heavy video editing, I genuinely prefer the M1 over my Threadripper desktop. The purchasing of this machine alone was a productivity gain. Attached to the MacBook is a Thunderbolt hub by Anker. It has 2 USB-A ports, 1 USB-C port, a full-size SD card and a micro SD card slot, pass-through USB-C charging, and a single HDMI port. I use this to mainly connect my ultrawide monitor along with my external drive for active projects. Speaking of which, my main project drive is a 1TB Corsair MP300 NVMe drive. I have it installed in this M.2 enclosure by Sabrin, and this enclosure is small, light, and sturdy. I promise it's not a vape. The casing is primarily an aluminum heatsink, which is fantastic for the thermal performance under intensive reading and write sessions. When I'm not using the Mac or want to use it in clamshell mode, I can push it under my monitor stand where it's completely out of the way. I don't do this very often, but whenever I do, I use my Keychron K2 keyboard with Gateron brown switches. I love this keyboard for its macOS compatibility, Bluetooth mode, its compact form factor, and the fact that it has function row keys. As for my mouse, I use the Logitech G305. It's a light, fast mouse, and it just works. That's really all I can say about it. When I need to lock in and focus on a specific task, such as editing or writing, I either use my AirPods or the Razer Nari Essential. The use of headphones allows me to shut out all sounds in my environment and helps me remain locked in on exactly what I need to complete within a certain work session. When I'm recording a voiceover such as this, I often use an old blue snowball mic on an Amazon mic arm. I've had this microphone since 2016, and it still works as new and sounds good even after all of these years. I did decide to paint it matte black so the white body didn't distract from the overall color scheme of my desk. I am aware that there is a black blue snowball now, but I'm way too cheap to purchase a new microphone when this one works just fine. Aside from creative work, I often work with technology. I enjoy tinkering with Linux, programming, and repairing electronic devices. At the heart of all of these projects is my desktop. I built this around 3 years ago, and in it is a Ryzen Threadripper 1900X, a Radeon Pro WX 7100, and 32 gigabytes of G.Skill Trident Z memory at 3000 MHz. It certainly has old parts in it, as I built this about a month before 2nd Gen Threadripper was released, but I still swear by this machine, and I love it for its performance to this day. When I am doing any programming projects, I love typing with linear switches, so I use my modified and Pro 2 with Gateron red switches. I lubed, tape modded, foam modded, and purchased my own keycaps, being GMK Hammerhead clones. I really do love the look and feel of this board, and I especially love it for its size overall. I am also a firm believer of device repairability and maintaining old electronics. With this, I have a specific layout of my space that allows for repairs. By hiding my MacBook and exchanging my desk mat, I can install my DIY fume extractor, my soldering iron, or my hot air station to perform any kind of repair. I also have an additional magnifying glass arm that provides ample light for surface mount soldering. Lastly, I am a huge fan of the self-hosted Linux community. Thus, I have my TrueNAS server. This has a Ryzen 3 3200G, 16GB of Corsair Vengeance RAM, and 12TB of storage in a RAID 5 ZFS array, which totals to around 8TB of usable redundant storage. On the server goes my desktop and MacBook backups, copies of my project files, photos, and more, and I also run my own Minecraft servers and Plex media server on this machine. The third and final configuration of my space is by far the most basic and relaxed, hence the name. When I'm relaxing, I ensure that nothing regarding technical projects or professional work is visible. This configuration is equally as important as the other two because relaxation and managing consistent daily deadlines are the keys to preventing burnout and exhaustion. When I am here, I binge YouTube content or play video games while talking with friends. I've been getting back into League of Legends and playing a lot of Gary's mod. I also occasionally play Valorant, Minecraft, or Genshin Impact. That is the conclusion of my workspace. Here I have proven extremely productive, and the basic transitions into physical minimalism granted amazing help with my focus at home. This video is the first in an upcoming series regarding the development of my workspace as my interests, my routine, and my location change. If you liked what you saw, make sure to like and subscribe to keep posted for more content such as this one. Nonetheless, my name is Ren, and I thank you all for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye for now.
Oh.